Mother said our home was 50 miles away from the nearest town. She and Father built it so we can live in quiet. But there's a church just 3 miles away. I can hear the bells go off in the distance. Our home is surrounded by a tall, gray, moss-covered brick wall. It would take at least 20 of me to climb it. The top of the wall had green brick on it. I ran my hand over the part of the wall I could reach. The stone is smooth, but also cold. I enter the yard. It's huge. It's so big that it would take a couple minutes to walk along the gray stone pathway. Stones were buried in the ground. It's very nice. And there were flowers everywhere. Tulips, roses, pixie blues, daisies, poppies, and so many others. The house at the end of the way is a little wooden house. It looks as if it had been here for longer than what Mother has told me. I can't help myself. I laugh and run through the yard. Kovu joins me, but he runs straight for the house while I run in circles, going around the whole yard, covering everything. Mother and Father walk along the path. Kovu runs out of the house. He carries something in his hands. It is green and round. It had pictures of leaves all over it. What's that, Kovu? It's a ball. Want to play kickball? How do you play? Well, you can throw the ball in the air or just set it on the ground and kick it. Oh, okay, let's play. He sets the ball on the ground. I can tell he didn't kick the ball hard because he kicked it enough to where it landed right at my feet. I scoop up the ball with my foot. I bounce it, then with my knee. And then I shot it in the air and spun and then kicked the ball right to him as hard as I could. Kovu headbutts it. It didn't seem to faze him because he returned the response with an even more forceful kick. Mother has stopped walking to watch us. I can only guess what she is thinking. Before the ball hits me in the stomach, I jump spin again, nailing the ball with my foot. I hear the whiz of it going through the air. My foot started to sting a second after contact, but I didn't have time to tend to it because Kovu had done a jump spin in return and sent the ball heading right back towards me. It curved a little bit, but I hit it with my toes, sending it straight up into the air. Right as it came down, I do a backflip, once again nailing the ball and shooting it back to its sender. Kovu, enough, Mother calls from the distance. Had she seen all of that? Remember, she had just bloomed. She's still testing her abilities and reflexes. Mother called us inside. The house is full. Everywhere I look, there's a dog of the same breed lounging somewhere. The floors of the house were made of bamboo. The walls were red cherry wood. There was a staircase that led up to the second floor. Vines grew around the first room to the right, if you were looking up from the bottom of the maplewood staircase. Mother picks me up, an action I'm already growing tired of, and heads up the stairs. She goes the opposite way of the room with the vines and She goes up the opposite way of the room with the vines and heads down the left hallway. What was that room? What room, Hubris? The room with the vines growing out of it. Oh, that's my room, honeysuckle. I tend to practice strengthening my abilities in there. Speaking of, are you going to show me your abilities? Yes, then after you will sleep. But haven't I just woken up? Yes, but you're young. You need your rest, especially after that little game. She opens a door at the end of the hallway on the left side. It's already made up for me. There's a giant Venus flytrap open and ready to have something placed inside. There's bright green grass growing on the floor. Bright white hibiscus flowers grow everywhere upon my arrival. Where does Kovu sleep? Right across the hall. Now are you ready to see my power? She says, placing me inside the flytrap. Its teeth are curved too much inward, so it can't close its mouth all the way. Works out on my end. Mother steps back some. Vines grow from the ground. Her doing, I guess. She waves her arms in the motion of the vines. Then she changes. Her clothing looks like fabric ice and snow. Her top is ice blue while her pants were snow white. Her hair is shorter too. It's held back by a headband of ice, all except for the part that covered her left eye. She turns towards the vines and covers them in ice. Her clothes change once more. This time they're orange and yellow. Her hair is still short, but more like a flame. It danced around in the air. She melts the ice and the vines with it, leaving nothing but a puddle of water behind. Her form changes once more. She wore no pants, for her legs had disappeared, where a fishtail had been placed, but it did not seem to bother her that she is on land. Her shirt is a darker blue than her ice-making form, and her hair returned back to its normal length. She moves her hand, and the water follows obediently. She swirled it, going faster and faster. It turned into mist in a matter of seconds. Then she changed once again. This time, her hair became shorter once more, allowing it to spike back smoothly. Her shirt resembled my dress some, but it had feathers as its material, and her pants were a soft leather brown. Mother even had wings to sport. They were like that of pixie wings, with faint lines that curled throughout. At the center of each wing is a faint image of a leaf. With this form, she spun the mist into a cloud. The cloud grew darker. It rumbled a bit, ready to strike. Once again, her form changed. Her shirt this time was a bright yellow, and her pants were a shade darker of brown. Her hair is back to its original look as well. With the cloud, she gathered a lightning bolt and flung it across the room. It bounced all over the place unnaturally. I ducked down in the trap to avoid getting hit, but it's no use. The bolt comes hurling towards me. Mother grabs the bolt faster than it moved. "Wow!" I exclaim. "That's awesome! And I can do that?" "Oh yeah, but there's a couple more forms I have to show you." She changed once more. This time her hair stayed the same, and like all the other forms, it covered her left eye. Her clothes were soil browned. It was as if she rolled in the mud all day. Eesh. Some of her face even seemed a little dirty. There is a stone on the vine table. She gestured towards the stone with her hand. It popped up from the table and suddenly expanded right before it landed in her hand. Mother placed the stone back on the table. She smiled at me. I gleamed back. She's amazing. Mother walked back to the center of the room, as she did each time she changed form. Her skin glowed as she got down on all fours. The glow fades, and she looks like the other dogs from downstairs. Her tail is medium-sized and very bushy. Her body is sleek with different colors of tan, black, and brown. Mother's legs were thin, but they would be good when it came to running. Her ears were large atop her nice-sized head. "Isn't it awesome?" Kovu shouted from the doorway. He leaped in the air, landing hands, which were now paws, first on the ground. He looks like Mother, but with a different spot pattern. He slid under Mother. She didn't seem happy with his presence. "Aren't you supposed to be going to bed?" "I tried, but he wanted to see his new sister before he did." Father is in the doorway. He is also in dog form, but he's much bigger than Mother. He has more bulk to him. His legs and body were thicker than that of Mother's. "He should have tried harder, love." "Well, he couldn't have tried hard enough, no matter how hard he tried." "Very funny, Kovu. Now time for bed." Father changed back to his human-like form. He scoops the little pup and carries him away. I look down at myself. Could I change forms like that? How? Mother looks at me and sighs some. What's wrong? Mother says, shuffling towards me. How do you guys change forms? You just have to think about it. But you aren't quite ready to start changing forms yet. You need to train first. Train? That sounds boring. Yes, but it will help you control yourself. Good night, Hibiscus. Night, Mom. Mother closed the top of the fly trap. It's like being in a cage, but at least I'm safe. When morning came, Mother came and woke me from my sleep. I'm going to start training today. I'm very excited. Mother escorts me to an empty room. Weapons of all sorts hang upon the walls. The floor is also made from bamboo, like the rest of the house, but in here it isn't smoothed out. It looks as if the bamboo sticks were laid on the floor and dirt was placed in the crevices. Kovu stood holding a stick. But it isn't like a stick from a tree. It is bamboo. Bamboo is really strong, but why is he holding it in such a manner? Morning, Hubris, he says as we walk in. Are you ready to start training your reflexes? Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. I will be training with my brother. But how will we do so? We'll work on your ability to use a 4-blade bow staff. He starts to spin the stick in his hands. He must practice a lot for him to be good. He stops and turns to the wall behind him. He reaches up and grabs another stick from the wall. I guess that's the staff he was talking about. Kovu hands it to me. It's light in my hands. Now this is a 4-bladed bow staff. There are blades at the ends and on the inside. How do you get the blades out from the inside? You see these little buttons? Kovu points to the little circles near the center of the staff. Yeah, I see them. If you push those, the staff will split in half, revealing 2 blades. Cool. When will I learn to use the blades? When you master using the bow staff. Oh, I frown. I can't do anything that you can. How's that fair? We get started right away. Kovu teaches me how to spin the staff really fast. It's really easy, but he made it hard by making me spin it around my body. He's able to spin the staff with one hand, behind his back, throw it in the air and catch it, while it still spins, and a few other cool tricks. I, on the other hand, can only spin it with one hand. I try to spin the staff behind my back, and only manage to hit myself on the head with it. I rub the part I hit. I hope it doesn't swell. Mother watched us from the other side of the room. She's sitting on 2 vines that are swirled into a platform. Hubris, maybe you should take a break from weapons. Really? But I need practice. I know. But I want you to at least attempt to learn how to use your grasp powers today. Really? Okay. I run to her. I'm excited that I'll be learning this so soon. Mother pulls out some leaves from the leafy vine she just grew. Then she hands them to me. Hubris, the key to working your powers are to think about what you want to plant to do before and during the action. Now, think of these leaves flying, then throw them. I picture the leaves in my mind. I set the background as the room around me. The leaves are hovering in place in my mind. I move them in a circle in my head. With the image set in mind, I throw the leaves. They shot across the room like blades sticking in the wall. It didn't circle like I wanted it to. I turn to Mother. She is giggling. What's so funny, Mom? I say, frowning. That isn't what you wanted, was it? She giggles. No, I wanted them to circle, but It just stuck in the wall. I haven't had that trouble, but seeing my little girl doing it, it's just so funny. How? I'm getting angry at Mother. She's laughing at me. I thought you could get it right the first time, but I guess I was wrong. I turn red. I'm getting madder at the longer she keeps laughing. This has to stop. Now. I turn to the wall. I see the bow staff Coco gave me. I pull it from the wall and push the 2 outer buttons on it. The blades came out of both ends. I turn towards Mother, spinning the staff. I slice at her. She dodges with a flash of color. Her hand lands firmly on my throat. Since I'm moving towards the wall, she reroutes my momentum to the left. I hit the floor. Not hard, but it's like I'd slipped and fallen instead of being thrown to the ground. I'm dazed. It happened so fast. Mother is smiling kindly. Her hand loosens its firm but not choking grip. My eyes widened. Wasn't I supposed to be faster? How could she have reacted faster? How? You know, Hubris, I have been around for almost 2.5 millennium. You don't think you can beat me right now, do you? Mother stands. She's still smiling. Well, since you think you can fight, maybe we can start combat training. And we'll keep trying to get you to move the leaves. Okay? Why not start combat training now? I can do it tomorrow, but no. Mother and Kovu leave the room, leaving just me. I walk over to the wall where the leaves were stuck. I pull them out. I exit the room once I've collected them. I walk to the stairs. I intended to go to my room and practice. I think about how Mom, she deserves to be called Mom, not Mother, reacted so fast. She dodged and caught me very quickly. How? My thoughts were interrupted by Father. Hey, Hubris. How was training? I learned how to use a bow staff and Mom threw me to the floor. Why? I attacked her, and when she laughed at me, she dodged and caught me by the throat. Trust me, Honeysuckle, she's done much worse. He winked. Worse? Like what? I go to my room, not even bothering to shut my door. I grab one of my leaves. I focus in on holding the leaf in a hover between my hands. I let the leaf fall. It obeys my command. This time, I smile. I can control all the leaves at once, and I can practice. One leaf at a time.